Hello YouTube. We're going to finish up the Shrine of Amana today with at Roy's resting place. Don't have any idea whether that's connected to Roy the Explorer that we met in Grave of Saints. You know, the red phantom that invaded us. So this is like the third part of Shrine of Amana. I talked about how it was like split into 3 parts in the previous episode. And this is like a short part. And you've got a boss in the middle to deal with, and it's like the area boss. So you want to take out this Amana Maiden first, and there's three maidens down there. One to the left, and like 2 in the kind of circular part of the area down there. It's surrounded by pillars. And there's a few items to pick up down there, and as you can see by the tons of fireflies that are down there, there's a lot of lizard men as well. And once you come down here, and once you come far enough in, you're going to get invaded by Dark Spirit Peculiar Kindleur. And this invader uses the Black Witch's Staff, which means that it's a caster. And you don't want to get far away from this person. You want to get up close, because he can cast sorceries, hexes, miracles, because the Black Witch's Staff is capable of doing that. And he has really low poise, quite a lot of a decent amount of health. And he uses the Cleric's Parma, so his shield is quite weak. He has a chance to drop the Black Witch's Staff, and it is for me it was the best like catalyst or chime or whatever you want to call it that I picked up in the game. Just because it's so versatile, it allows you to cast everything apart from pyromancies, which obviously you need your glove for. And we're lucky actually, because once I defeat him, that's what he's going to drop. He's going to drop the Black Witch's Staff. Not that it was terribly important for this character, not that it's important at all in fact for this character, because he's solely melee based. Throwing knives aren't going to work against him. I don't know why I was backing off of him so much. I think I was actually wanting to see what he could do with his Witch's Staff, and I guess at some point I'd seen enough, and then just went down and took him out. That was a bit stupid. So I'm not sure what the lore is behind Peculiar Kindleur. Okay, so this is the Amana Maiden that's off to the left, and to the left is how you make your way towards the boss. And the singing you can actually hear is produced by the boss, who's known as the Demon of Song, and it's obviously a feminine voice. Although I've read people refer to the boss as a male, which I don't know, I find odd. I don't think it is male, but you'll see it's strange. You'll see once you see it. Red Iron Twin Blade. Apparently it's quite a strong weapon. Never used it. Homing Crystal Soul Mass. Round at the back here, just be careful when you come round the back, because you can fall off the edge. And what we're going to do now is we're back at the entrance to where Roy's resting place, the bonfire. And remember in the previous episode I picked up the item and then fell off the ledge. This was the item that I could see from where the soul of the hero was. The reason as well, by the way, why there's not a giant acid beetle thing to deal with is because I took them all out. They were annoying me, and I didn't like the fact that they could cause so much damage to my rings and equipment and whatnot that I decided to just kill them all permanently. So we've got this Milfinito that looked raggedy and looked ill and unwell and hollowed out basically, and I think that's speaking to an event that occurs later on after we've defeated the Demon of Song and gone back to another location. I think we learn something interesting about the Milfinito later on in the game, and I'll probably talk about it in the next episode. Anyway, what we're doing now is we're coming back I've cleared the path to the boss, and what I'm doing now is I'm coming back to where you can summon, what's her name again, Felicia the Brave. And the good thing is that when you're coming back the way, all of these enemies have their back turned to you, so they're not as annoying as when you're coming to them head on. And again, the reason why there was no Lindale clerics back there at the entrance to the cave was because I took them all out at the same time I was taking all the like what do you call them, acid things out. So Lindale clerics, apparently the reason they are here is because they're the land that they come from, Lindale, has quite a ideological system of governance. So they made their way to Drangleic. Anyway, this boss, just use like gold pine resin or charcoal pine resin, works well because it's weak to fire, and it's like a frog demon, and it's surrounded by this thick membrane, and the membrane is impenetrable to attacks, melee attacks and magic. So the only opportunities you get to inflict damage against this boss is when it lowers its membrane, its face, and then its hands or arms or whatever. But it's definitely some kind of frog. It's not a toad. Toads have smaller hind legs. Not that it really matters because this is Dark Souls and it's like a fantasy game, so it's some kind of weird frog-like creature anyway. And Felicia is more helpful actually if you're a caster. When I've came through here with my caster build, it's beneficial to let her carry out the heavy lifting. So let her get close up to the boss and attack it, and then from distance you can, cast your spells like Great Lightning Spear and take it out quite quickly. And you could see a second ago when it was doing its hand swipes, I rolled through the hand swipe. Now what's interesting is it killed me and Felicia, and in one swoop of its arms. And like I said, just a moment before that, I was able to roll through that attack. So you just have to be very careful. It seems quite inconsistent. It's happened to me before as well, or happened to me after this fight in different builds. Where it's sometimes you're able to roll through that attack, and sometimes the attack connects with you and you don't die, and other times it one-shots you. So I decided this time to not use Felicia. I decided to just try it on my own. And what you want to do as well is you want to keep a mid-distance from the Demon of Song. You don't want to be far away from it because it can spit those balls of water at you, just like the crystal, just like the Hydras from Dark Souls 1. And you definitely don't want to stand right up against it, because if it does a sweeping arm attack, you might, be one-shotted. In New Game Plus, I think I used the Avalon to take out the Demon of Song. Not take it out, but to deal a lot of damage to it from a distance. It has another attack. No, actually, sorry, it was a Dragon Rider bow. It wasn't Avalon. Another attack that it has is this one, which it can grab you, and that was foolish of me. I rolled too soon. Its arms actually have very good tracking when it's got its arms raised above its head. Just when you think you've rolled out the way, or you think that you've successfully rolled, its arm lands on top of you and squashes you. Don't stand behind it either. It's got like a tail attack, like a butt slam, like a lot of Dark Souls enemies or bosses. So originally in the lore, it talked about how the Amana Maidens, the ones that cast the soul arrow at you. And again, there you go, you can see how well its tracking was there with its arms. But apparently their responsibility was to keep the Demon of Song imprisoned within the Shrine of Amana. And apparently they failed in that responsibility, and that's why it's let loose in this arena here. So we get the key to the embedded. plunge the key into the being, to bring a rhapsodic end to his fate. The once human embedded, realising that he could never resist the temptations of the flesh, bound himself internally with chains. Since then, he has awaited the day that somebody will find this key and bury it within his bosom. And it's strange how it says bosom, because it's bosom. How the hell do you pronounce it? I don't know. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean anyway. When we don't really, we kind of plunge it into his face. But you'll see that in the next episode. And like you seen there a second ago, it's like a sword shaped as a key. Bosom. Yeah, that's annoying me now. Anyway, what happens now is you come to this direction, and it's quite hard to find the exit from the place where we just fought the Demon of Song. I wasn't 100% sure where to go here, but this guy told me definitely not to go down this way because it's death. So we go to these doors. It's going to take us to an area known as Undead Crypt. And technically I suppose this is... Oh no, it's not actually. I'm totally wrong about that. It's the end of this particular path. This area here, Undead Crypt, is the end of this particular path. But there's another path that we can go down later on in the game. So... yeah, Undead Crypt. We've come down the elevator. You have to come down a big elevator to get here. We're going to rest at the bonfire. And I had a feeling when I was coming down here that I'd missed something up above. So we're actually going to take the elevator back to the top in a second, to the Shrine of Amana. And we're going to go, when we come out of the door, we're going to go left. But if you were coming from the area where you fought the Demon of Song, you would go right. But anyway, you'll see where we are in a second. So back up the elevator, come out the door that we just went through a second ago to get into Undead Crypt. And we're going to go left here. And it takes you to a whole new area. And this part of this area that we're going to come to in a second can only be accessed once we've used the key to the embedded. Is it the key to the embedded? I might be wrong about that actually. Let me clarify that in the next episode. But there is a door up at the top of those stairs that we cannot use at this moment in time. We have to do something. It's either use the key to the embedded or take out a boss. Anyway, once we've come down the stairs, once we've lit the bonfire, come down the stairs and go left because there's a treasure chest with 20 magic arrows down here. And that's us coming to the end of this episode. Next episode we're going to go back to Drangleic Castle because that's what you need to do with the key. Thanks for watching.